Welcome to the October edition of Coffee Chat. This month we will showcase the best viewer tips on practical frugality. Before we get started, if you don't know us, I'm Hope.
And I'm Larry.
This is Under the Median, where every week we talk about practical frugality. Each month on Coffee Chat, usually we feature small family-owned businesses and the coffee that they roast on site. This month, with everything going on with Larry's accident and recovery, we did not have time to go purchase or even to order specialty coffees. So this month's Coffee Chat is brought to you by Kroger Flavored Coffees. This is French vanilla. It's what we're drinking today, and I did get it, guys, reduced. $7.75 for, was that 2 pounds? Yep, 2 pounds.
I got to say, that's really good coffee,
It's not
though.
bad.
We have really been enjoying it.
Bad.
And this way, that's already pre-ground. Usually I have to ground up the coffee and measure it out and all that. This way I could just put it in the pot.
Yeah, we needed simplicity this month, guys. Tell us in the comments section what you're drinking while you're listening to Coffee Chat or watching Coffee Chat. A couple of thank yous we want to give out before we get started on the best viewer tips that were sent in this month. Our viewers have been amazing at sending cards expressing concern for Larry in his recovery from his bicycle accident. We had several of you that sent gifts. We had the McGuire family that sent us some coffee.
Yes.
They clearly know us well as a couple of really fun books for Larry to read while he is in recovery. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was great. They did not sign their family name to it. They live in Aurora, Illinois. I know that. So this lady, I'm just going to read it to you here. Dear Larry and Hope, my 8-year-old son and I watch Under the Median together. My son, he did a drawing for us. I hope you appreciate his humor. I'll show you the card. It's great. All joking aside, we are praying for Larry for healing and blessings for your newly married son and his wife. God bless. Okay, so the card from the 8-year-old says, be happy on the front. I'll take a couple of up-close pictures so you can see it. Be happy. Shows a little guy who has fallen off of his bicycle.
It looks pretty much like I
actually
looked
kind of did
on the ground.
So be happy. At least you're not him. So thank you to the viewer from Aurora, your 8-year-old son. Thanks. Your drawing was awesome. We absolutely loved it, and it gave us a much-needed dose of laughter. Yes, it was wonderful. All right, viewer tips. Let's get started, because that is what Coffee Chat is all about. Colleen says, I track all the food in my freezer and pantry on my phone in the Notes app, because her phone is with her all the time. So she doesn't have to do what we have occasionally done a time or two, which is to text our grown children at home and say, do we have ketchup? Please check pantry. I am waiting for your answer, Mom. She doesn't have to do that because she has it all on her phone and it's with her.
Eva says, this has to do with steaming food. You save on olive oil. Yep. I'm from Spain, and olive oil for me is sacred, but prices have increased so much that I have to find a way to use less. And steaming foods is one way to use less olive oil.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point to make, is as prices continue to rise, you're going to have to be flexible and figure out some workarounds. Would it be helpful for you guys, because I've thought about this, about doing a video on what do you do when some of your favorite ingredients are just continuing to rise in price? What are some workarounds that we've come up with that help us to continue to use that product but still be able to afford it? Tell me if you'd like a video on that in the comments section. Carolyn says, my biggest new tip is what I call percentage food shopping. I buy to maintain percentages of different types of food groups in the house while still maintaining the same total amount of expenditures for the month. So for instance, she looks at her whole grocery budget and says, out of my, say, $500 grocery budget, I am willing to spend this percentage of that money on protein and meats. I'm willing to spend this percentage on dairy and this percentage on, say, fruits and vegetables. And she maintains it. She organizes it in her mind that way. So when she gets to the end of that percentage for meat, she's done buying meat for the month.
That is a great way to organize it. And not only that, but then you're keeping really good track on what you have in your house. So you're not overspending. Galen says, please also don't forget cashback or saving apps like Fetch, Ibata, or Rakuten. Plus, always utilize your favorite grocery store's loyalty program and electronic coupons.
We regularly use Fetch. Love Fetch. Also, we regularly use Honey and Rakuten. Ibata I used for a long time, and I don't feel like the opportunity for savings is there with Ibata like it used to be. Maybe it's because we don't eat meat or a lot of processed foods. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Do you use Ibata? And is it still as good of a deal? I did hear, though, through the grapevine that Ibata is still going to do their free Thanksgiving dinner thing this year where you buy certain foods specifically, and then that whole amount is given back to you in the form of a rebate. But there's a lot of different hoops that you have to jump through this year in order to get your rebate. I heard somebody say like 17 different items or something that you have to purchase in order to get the money back. Oh. I'm just saying, it seems to still be there, but they're changing the rules a little bit, guys. Yeah. Paula says, buying perennial plants at the end of the season. Just picked up 2 daylily plants for $2.50 a piece. The regular price, $9.99. She splits her plants in the fall when they get big, and then she finds someone to trade with.
Janelle says that I add a little water and a little witch hazel to the almost empty shampoo and soap bottles. She mixes it up and puts it in a small empty soap pump container and puts it in their bathroom or in their kitchen sinks, near the sink, to do some hand washing. I also bought, and that she hasn't bought pump liquid for hand soap in quite a while by doing that. That's
she is creating her own homemade liquid soap. That is the easiest recipe for liquid soap I have ever read. Little Red Mocha Pot says, we've decided to make one meat/protein heavy meal, and they're going to do it for Sunday dinner with a family. And that's going to cut down immediately on her meat costs. Not only that, she's going to get that protein when it's on sale. Leftovers are going to get stretched out for like meatloaf on Sunday, sandwiches on Monday, tacos on Tuesday. I love the whole idea of creating one main dish with meat if you're going to eat meat, and then stretch that out. In fact, you can do that even if it's not meat. We do that all the time with things that aren't meat-based at all. This whole idea of maybe the Sunday family dinner is coming back in style. It's what your mother did. That's when you had your main meat, was on Sunday dinner. And you hoped that the sermon didn't go too long.
She also picked dishes from 2 of their favorite restaurants and learned to make them at home, doubling or tripling the amount and freezing them. No more need to swing by and grab dinner because we've got it ready to heat up at home. Chinese, Indian, and now Greek. Buy the spices on sale and in bulk. Restaurant supply stores are a valuable place nowadays.
Love it. Ellen Dunn says, I love to find unadvertised manager specials. Now listen up, guys. You guys are going to want to know where Ellen shops. I give you my word. All right. She shops unadvertised manager specials, less than perfect produce, dented cans and boxed foods, and the clearance items in the grocery store. I recently walked by a meat case as an employee was filling it with whole chickens for roasting. The posted price, 99 cents a pound. Really, really good. I think we can all agree that's a great price for chicken. But she found some of those chickens that were in there that had the half-price red stickers on them. So Ellen got her chicken for 49 cents a pound. She bought 3 large chickens for about $10, and she's going to make sure that she makes those chickens stretch to feed her family for many, many meals.
How about that?
Good story, right?
That is great. Wendy says, I am someone who takes my items to be repaired. I don't like replacing items, especially when they are still good. This can include things like getting new soles on shoes and boots, knives getting resharpened, and even some appliances just needing a tune-up. That's a great idea.
It was far more common in our parents' or our grandparents' generations to get stuff repaired rather than replacing it. But I think they were buying fewer items and they were buying quality-made items to begin with. And I think this sort of speaks to the case of buying something that is a little more expensive when you first purchase it, because then if it's a good leather pair of shoes, you'll pay to have a new sole put on it because it's going to cost you less than replacing it with the same quality leather shoe. I think it makes good sense.
Once again, I would prefer to spend a little bit more money on the item in the first place to get a good high quality item. And once you get that high quality item, it's not a big deal just to keep it going, keep it running, keep it working for you.
Agreed. B says, Hope and Larry, it'd be really fun if you had under the median coffee mugs. Put me down for 2 of them. Somebody else asked about this too and said that it should have the words prioritize somewhere on the coffee mug. We have seriously thought about selling merch and we've not done it. We kind of would have to design it and then sell it. So would you buy coffee mugs from us if we had a merchandise store? Tell us what you think of that idea. We're not opposed to it. We actually think it's kind of a fun idea.
And Amanda says, making my own laundry detergent and cleaning supplies saves a lot of money.
Yes, indeed it does. All right, B says, we try to stick to once a month grocery shopping. That way I'm not in the stores as often. Occasionally she does have to run back in, but she didn't do it too often because she lives out in the country. So it's not a 10 or 20 minute drive into town. This is a 3 or 4 hour project to drive back into town. So she waits till she's in town for something else. And then she makes the most of that trip, does her once a month grocery shopping, then tries not to head back into town for another 30 days.
Terry writes, stay the heck away from, is it Temu?
Temu. Oh, boy.
Their ads press for immediate buying now before it's gone. The page layouts I've seen in the ads appeal to once of all that glitters. I have to say that I've looked at some of the Temu ads that show up on the side while I'm on Facebook or different places, and I'm not really too tempted. They don't seem like real high quality items to me, and I think I would just kind of stay away from that.
Temu has approached us probably at least 40 times and asked to do a sponsorship, and we have told them a flat no every single time. We have not bought from them, but from what we've heard and what we've seen, we are personally not impressed unless we're totally and completely missing something. But we take very seriously the people that are allowed to sponsor videos on this channel. And if they're sponsoring, it's because we have tried their product and we like it and we use it. So just know that Temu, unless something drastically changes my opinion, they're not going to be on here for a sponsorship. I get a lot of really weird red flags with them.
Yeah, we want to make sure before we send any sponsorships your way that we have fully endorsed them and tried them out and are happy with what they're doing.
Okay, B, who wants the coffee mugs, also says, my family and I love your content. We like to keep the hot water tank turned off when we get home in the evening. We turn it on and let it warm up. Takes about an hour and a half at the lower setting. We have done some research. We have a gas water heater, so we're not going to do this. If you have an electric water heater, it does make it a lot easier. We have had viewers who do it, who tell us that they dropped dramatically their electric bill by following this exact same procedure. We've read that you don't want to let your water get too cool because then it is at a temperature that promotes the growth of mold and things that you don't want to have in your hot water supply. We're a little bit cautious. The thing that we have suggested is that you definitely turn it down immediately. The factory setting is going to be 140 degrees in that water heater. Turn it down to 120, which should be the next lowest setting. And if you're going to be gone for any length of time, turn it down to the vacation setting, which will turn it down significantly. It won't come off and on nearly as often while you're gone, but it will keep that water at a safe temperature. So
I like to turn it down anyway, just keep it at a little lower setting so that you're not wasting hot water. If you have water so hot that you can't wash your dishes in it, then what good is it if you're just going to have to turn that down and add cool water? You might as well just turn the hot water heater down. It's going to work less and you'll save money.
Gina Piano says, a game changer for me using Flash Food app. Not every area has it, but I've been able to get full boxes of fruit or vegetables or a mix of it for $5. You have to be on the lookout all the time for the deals because they can vary. Now, Gina and I have been having a little conversation over on our Facebook page, which, by the way, guys, if you don't follow us on Facebook and Instagram, make sure you're following us. I'll make sure there are links to both of those in the description of this video. We're on those 2 other social media outlets all the time, giving extra tips, thoughts, taking polls, giving advice, taking advice. I mean, it's a fun thing to be with us on Facebook and Instagram. But Gina private messaged me on Facebook, and she's been sending me some photos of her hauls using Flash Food. We are going to do a video on 8 apps. Eight apps. They're going to help you save a boatload of money, and Flash Food is one of those apps. So you're going to want to be watching for that video coming up sometime in the month of November. Now, having said that, if you're not subscribed to Under the Median, this is a great time for me to remind you to subscribe. And when you do, make sure that you hit that bell notification, and do us another favor, guys.
Yeah.
If this is a helpful video, make sure that you hit that like button for us and chat with us in the comment section, because those 2 things alone help us with the YouTube algorithm.
Tammy writes, don't be afraid of those senior discounts. While I'm only 56, many senior discounts start at the age of 55. That's so true. Our county aquatic center has daily, monthly, quarterly, and annual passes. By sucking up my pride and accepting the discount, the annual pass went from $240 to $110.
That's huge.
That's worth it. Ross Dress for Less has senior days as well. Almost all the thrift stores do as well. And we have some here in our town. We've gone in and say, what are your senior days? We make sure that we go on those days to save a little bit of money.
Never be afraid to flash that state ID at them and say, hey, I am over this age. Do I get a discount? It cannot hurt to ask wherever you are purchasing things at. Lucy says, I remember Hope saying she takes long showers. Yeah? So I thought I'd share my tip of playing a song. When she gets in the shower, she plays the song 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton, and she's got to be out of that shower by the time Dolly is done with the last refrain.
Now, that doesn't mean that she washes her hair from 9 to 5. That means that she's using the length of the song to get in and out of the shower quickly.
That's right. But she said if you're washing your hair those days, you might want a little bit longer song, maybe. I told Larry, I said,
great idea.
I'm picturing Rachmaninoff, one of those real slow. Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Lucy. I'll let you know if I take you up on that. Samantha says, I meal plan each week, but also do it around what's on sale for half price at the supermarket. It's delicious and nutritious. Yep. Great way to do it.
Terry says, right now we have our covered back deck wrapped in translucent plastic. In the summer, it's wrapped in black mesh tarps that block 60 to 70% of the UV rays.
That's an interesting idea. I've never, ever heard this, but that would, in effect, keep her back patio cooler in the summer, allowing them to sit outside more often rather than sitting inside, and maybe even keeping the air conditioner off for a longer period of time if they're hanging out outside on the back patio.
That would also save some of your patio furniture if you have it protected by some sun filters so it doesn't get washed out by the sun.
Yep. Melinda says, vinegar and baking soda are natural room fresheners along with opening a window.
That's excellent. The next 3 we have to do with paint. These are some different tips about painting. MJ says, check your home improvement or hardware store for mistinted paint. It's good quality, but just not mixed to the exact tint that was ordered by the customer. Stores often sell it from 80 to 90% off.
Yeah. James adds that in some places, like in his area now, those are priced only at 50% off, which is still quite expensive. But Catherine wins the gold star for this. She got a gallon of light mint green paint for $5, and it was the exact color that she wanted for her guest bathroom. Win. Yep, check for that area. If you don't know where to find it, ask when you go to your home improvement or paint store. Kazan says, fill up the pantry for $5 a week or $20 a month. We actually did a video on this where we showed different combinations of food that we got for just $5 from our local Aldi and had it in piles so you could see what $5 buys. Now, it's been a couple of years since we did that video. I'll link the video up above in case you want to see it. It was about filling your pantry for $5 a week. I'll link it up above and then the description of the video. But the concept still works even in 2023. Her point was you take that $5 and 1 week, you only focus on one thing. That's what she focuses on. She's like, If my focus is, let's say, vegetables, how many cans of vegetables can I get for that $5 this week? Next week, it's $5 of something else, maybe rice or pasta. The next week, it's $5 of something else. And it's only a certain number of weeks of that $5 every week. And you are seriously going to make a difference in how much food you have in your pantry. It doesn't take a lot of money to stock a good pantry. And that's what people misunderstand.
Frugal says, I go dumpster diving. Yes, I do. No shame in that. I found old toys from World War II and sold them for $775.
I'd say that's a good deal.
Oh my gosh. Vintage clothing and jewelry and new items and everything in between. I go dumpster diving twice a week. Sometimes I keep the items for my house and sometimes I sell them for a good price.
Oh my goodness. All right. I'd say that's a
a
profitable
win-win.
use of your time there.
That's a win-win. Yeah.
Silver Knight says, my wife and I shop for groceries as soon as the stores open, usually at 6 a.m. This is the best time for stocking up on markdowns, especially meat and bakery goods. But AKS responded to Silver Knight and said, for those of us in the UK, Asda marks down their meat/fruit and veg around 7 to 8 p.m. and marks them down before they are open the following day. So if you go late in the evening there to Asda in the United Kingdom, then you're going to find a lot more of those yellow stickers. And that is why we have always said you need to ask at your local stores exactly when they do the markdowns and time your shopping for around that time of the day, and you're going to score the best selection of markdowns.
Yes, indeed. Adrian says, another way to save, watch videos and try to fix some things in your house. I just got a kit to fix my window screen. I painted my doors and doing my yard instead of paying somebody else.
Yep.
Maintenance, it's expensive.
Staying with the idea of your yard, Adrian says, no more expensive soil to put on my plants. Doing my own compost. I mix cheap soil with my veggie scraps, put some perlite, and then let your compost bin sit for a few weeks and you get black, nutritious soil with worms almost for free. My plants thrive. I advise, even if you have just a small space, to plant at least some herbs because it will help and it will bring delicious meals to your table.
And here's one more from Adrian. Adrian found a solid wood table on the curb. Glad was across the street from my house, refinished and painted with varnish and applied a clear coat to protect, and it's way beyond better. So now I have a big table on my kitchen to prepare my meals. That's excellent.
Love it.
That's excellent. Elicer says, I recycle certain takeout containers, jars, everything. Helps in food preps, storage, and gifting. Why spend money on containers when I can get them for free? Pay once, use hundreds of times, especially used glass jars, pickles, pasta sauce, even capers, all sizes on my shelf, ready to grab and recycle time and time again. That is a great use for containers.
Our viewers are so smart. You guys rock. If you are ready for even more viewer tips, make sure that you watch a previous coffee chat, which is listed right over there.